17. Pressure group. So pressure groups are actually, they are not political parties, they are separate category of people. So they will be like doing certain actions so that their interest will be protected. There can be NGOs, there can be activist group, okay. So they will be doing certain activities to pressurize the government to get their things done. That's why. So there are 3 techniques which are employed by the pressure groups so that their thing will be done. For example, Kasturi Rangan report and Gadgil committee report came for the protection of Western Ghats. So at that time there were different pressure groups like environmental activists who accepted money from the quarry lobbies, okay, and they wanted government to back out from the Kasturi Rangan report, because in the Kasturi Rangan report and Gadgil report, mainly in the Gadgil report which came first, what he said that like all quarries should be removed from the like Western Ghats because it is destabilizing the Western Ghats. Now the quarry groups came together, they gave money to these activists and they started pressurizing the government to back out from this. They started making the people believe that if all such protections are given to the Western Ghats, people cannot sell their land, people cannot cultivate plantation crops, like government cannot establish check dams in that area. So similarly, they tried to mobilize public opinion and they wanted people to protest against the government. So this is an example of activity of a pressure group. So they are usually employing 3 techniques. First one, electioneering. Electioneering, they are telling that they are trying to persuade public officers to adopt and enforce policies that they think will prove the most beneficial. So persuading public officers, that is lobbying. Similarly, we have said about the Western Ghats protection. So they will be persuading the public officers to create laws in their favor. So that's lobbying. Then second statement, trying to place in public office persons who are favorably disposed towards their interest. So for example, if we take the case of, if we ignore the pressure group for the time being, if we take the case of governor, the post of governor, central government appoint the person who is favorable to them. That is not an activity of pressure group, but similar example in the pressure group's case, they will persuade the ministries to appoint the persons who work in their favor in the public offices. So that is electioneering. So 1 or 2 are interchanged. Then propagandizing, trying to influence the public opinion and thereby gain an indirect influence over the governor. Similarly, Western Ghats protection, they will be creating a public opinion. Okay, if absolute protection is given to Western Ghats, that will harm the people's interest. You cannot sell you cannot sell your land to a corporate for big money and all. So people will turn against the government and government will be backing out from the Western Ghats protection. So that is propagandizing. So 3 is correct, only 3 is correct, and they have asked about not correctly matched. So only 2 pairs. 2 pairs are not correctly matched, 1 or 2 are wrong. Huh? What's given the answer key? So that will change, actually B is the answer. Then 18, consider the following statements regarding tribunals in the Indian Constitution. Which Constitutional Amendment Act brought in tribunals? 42nd Amendment Act. It was during the period of Indira Gandhi, so 1 is wrong. Article 328 deal with administrative tribunal. Article 323 deal with other tribunal for other matters. True. So not correct means A is the answer. 1 only is not correct. 19. With reference to Central Administrative Tribunal, consider the following statements. It exercises original jurisdiction related to recruitment and all the service matters of public servants covered by it. So that's why it is constituted. Actually, we have discussed that thing. So that is correct. 1 only. 1 is correct. Then 2. Its jurisdiction also covers servants of Supreme Court and secretarial staff of Parliament. False. It specifically says that they do not cover the staff of Supreme Court and staff of Parliament. So 1 only is the answer. 20. With reference to jurisdiction of district judge. District judge possesses original and appellate jurisdiction in both civil as well as criminal matters. True. District judge exercises judicial and administrative powers. Okay, he can appoint the staff of High Court and all. So District Court and all. So both 1 and 2. 21. Consider the following categories of people. They are asking about free legal services under National Legal Service Authority. So women and children, members of SC and ST, persons in custody, persons whose annual income does not exceed 1 lakh. Actually, this point we have discussed in last day's slide. Okay. So 4, then victims of trafficking in human beings. Actually, when I have discussed about NALSA that day, I told that all persons like who you feel that they are victims or vulnerable, they will be covered under this. So there is no point in eliminating any one of the statements. So all are correct. D is the answer. 22. Consider the following statements with reference to benefits of Lok Adalat. Okay, Lok Adalat. We know that actually Lok Adalats are constituted for providing inexpensive and speedy justice to the people who cannot afford the judicial procedures. So first statement, in that context you have to see all the statements. 1, there is no court fee, and if you have paid any court fee in the case, in the court, that will be refunded. True, common sense statement, right? Lok Adalat can take the case which is pending in the court itself. Okay, so if a person for the first time filed a case in the court and he have paid the court fee, then Lok Adalat is taking this case back and Lok Adalat is giving the verdict. Okay, at that time when it is giving the verdict, the court fee will be refunded to this person. Okay, that's the point. So 1 is true. No strict application of procedural laws like Civil Procedure Code or Evidence Act while assessing the claim of Lok Adalat. See, if there is a strict application of these kind of CRPC and all, you could have gone to court. Okay, to escape from these complex procedures, this Lok Adalat is created. So there is no strict application of these laws. So that is true from common sense. 3, the award by the Lok Adalat is binding on the parties. We have discussed this thing, right? It's binding on the parties and it has the status of a decree of a civil court, definitely. So if you are not satisfied with the verdict of the Lok Adalat, you should initiate a new litigation in the court. There is no point in appeal from the verdict of Lok Adalat. So 3 is also true. It is non-appealable, which does not cause the delay in settlement of dispute. Similarly, same thing only. So 3 and 4 are actually connected statements. So all statements are correct. 23. Consider the following functional items in the constitution. Okay, they are asking for the items in the 12th schedule. Fire service, cattle ponds, regulation of slaughterhouses, fuel and fodder, promotion of cultural and educational and aesthetic aspects, slum improvement, rural housing. In this, one provision is from the 11th schedule. Which one? Fuel and fodder. Fuel and fodder is there in 11th schedule. Okay, it's there in 11th schedule. Remaining are the provisions of the 12th schedule. Okay, even there, these provisions are there in 11th schedule as well. But, which one? Okay, rural housing is also not there. Okay, rural housing is also not there in 12th schedule. So 2 provisions are not there in the 12th schedule. So 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6. 4 and 7 is not there. Fine. So 23, A is the answer. So you should not get confused. Like that's why I'm always saying this thing. The subjects in the 11th schedule and 12th schedule should be studied because it will create confusion. That's why UPSC will ask questions from that. 23A. 24. With reference to Attorney General. Okay, we have discussed this thing in sufficient detail in our revision, etc. Then Attorney General is appointed by the President. True. He must be a person who is qualified to be appointed as a judge of a Supreme Court. If it is the Advocate General, what must be the qualification? High Court Judge. Okay, High Court Judge, similar qualification must be there. So 1 and 2 are true. 3. The term of office of the AG is fixed by the Constitution. No, it's under the pleasure of the President. So 3 is wrong. He receives such remuneration as the President may determine. Obviously, President is appointing him and he is working under the pleasure of President. So 1, 2 and 4 only. 25. Consider the following limitations placed on the Attorney General. Okay, he should not accept the appointment as a director in any company. Okay, if it is without the President of the, without the permission of the Government of India, definitely. If he is working as a director of a company without the permission, like he will be removed from that post because he should not have any bias or partisan interest. That's why 1 is correct. He should not accept any position without the permission of the government. Then he is a full-time counsel of the government and falls in the category of private servants. See, in the first part of the statement they are telling that he is a full-time counsel of the government, and then they are telling that falls in the category of private servants. There is a mismatch in that 2 parts of the statements itself. So he is not a full-time counsel of the government. Government can ask him, like if they want to, this person to appear in in favor of government, they can ask. Otherwise, in the remaining time, he can do his private like duties and all. He can like work for his interest as well if he is working in private as a private servant. So there is a mismatch in the two parts of the statement, second statement. So 2 is not correct. Then he should not defend the accused persons in criminal prosecution without the permission of Government of India. Okay, that is true. Because like when I was taking that division, I told you that if it is in the case of a Nirbhaya, okay, Nirbhaya case, government is trying everything to get maximum punishment for that persons. But if this person is not interested to defend the government in that, and if this person is going to advocate for that culprits, there's a difference, like conflict of interest between government and this person. That's why he can appear for criminal people, but he should first get the permission of the government. So only 2 is not correct. So C is the answer.